Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome to another Stratego video. This one is going to be a ranked game on my second account against Robwxyz123456789. It's going to be like a video about how to beat players at like mid bronze level. So this is going to be a voiceover. I'm going to try to point out this guy's mistakes and why this guy is still in bronze and how you can beat bronze players. So I'll note what I do to help myself win this game. So something that this guy's doing that you don't want to see, moving a lot of pieces, especially from the third row. It's never good. Looks like he's doing some shuffling. So I take that captain on the side. Reason being because a colonel in the second row on the side in bronze level is pretty rare. So yeah, that's nice. Scouts the bottom. That was a good play, but the guy did have to shuffle a lot of pieces to get that. Also, that was not a good bluff because it was a front row piece. So check that. So that's the marshal. So that's another problem. You never want to reveal your marshal early. It's just never a good thing to do. So looks like he's retreating over there. So I'm gonna open up the center because there's not much I can really do on the right or on the left. And also another thing, doing that with your marshal, like trying to win two square, like if your opponent's already on the diagonal, it's never gonna work, and you shouldn't do it if you're just trying to waste time. Like if you're trying to think of a move, then it's fine, but like yeah. So that take with the captain wasn't the smartest because the major, like, it's pretty obvious that that piece is gonna be relatively decent. It sometimes works out, but not always. So I know that that's a front row piece. It's not gonna be higher than a major. Yeah, as lieutenant. So that was not a good bluff because people don't typically put like colonels in the center. I mean in the front row. They can, but they typically don't. So that was a decent bluff because I did wish to scout on it, but it was a scout, so this guy didn't really get much out of it. That piece came from behind the lake, so in case he was another scout, so he scouted a sergeant. And you never want to scout a sergeant. It's just a complete waste of a scout. So yeah, this guy's using his scouts too much, in my opinion. Moving also way too many pieces and revealed the marshal early for sergeant, which was not good. I'm gonna make sure he can't scout that bomb. I'm pretty sure that that's a scout. Could be wrong though. I might just go of an exchange. I'm not sure though. It's a captain on the left. That's fine. I'll probably just hit it in exchange. Yeah, looks like I will. So on the left, guessing his gen's on the left, so I need to make sure my colonel doesn't like get hit by it. So yeah, that could be the gen right there. Okay, it's just another scout. So the marshal did come from behind the lake, so I'm thinking the gen might be there too if it could bounce that up. Okay, so notice there, this guy did not let me scout that. I moved the scout, and he did not let me scout that, and then he exchanged scouts, and that makes me think that that piece is pretty good. The one I was trying to scout, but he blocked. So yeah, also in order to prevent that piece from being scouted, this guy did move a back row piece. You never want to move back row pieces if you can avoid it, because it just gives up so much about your setup. Trying to pull a fast one there with the marshal. That does sometimes work if your opponent's moving really fast. You can just sometimes just like move a piece next to theirs, and you might catch them. Yeah, like there. But obviously, I'm not gonna fall for that. That was interesting because you could have moved that piece left to block me from scouting whatever that thing is. So right now I'm thinking general spy because the marshal's on the right, obviously. So let's see what that is. That's just a lieutenant. That makes me think the piece in front of it is probably a scout, because like, what would a lieutenant be guarding? So I might want to come up and like take that piece in the front and then exchange. That's probably what I should do. But I'm gonna see if I actually do that. So he's doing something in the center here. I'm perfectly happy with this defense because I think the Jan's on the left. I doubt the Jan's in the center because the Marshall's on the right. And again, tries to pull a fast one on me. It's just not gonna work. Like I'll be winning two squares. So yeah, this is just kind of stalling. That was interesting. I probably shouldn't have gone up there, but then again, there is a free piece for me to get, so So yeah, I got a minor out of that major, and I also got a captain. Also led to this guy revealing his marshal, so I'm perfectly happy if I lose the major now. And also the other piece coming for it is probably a colonel because this guy, well, this guy actually can bluff, so it might not be. So yeah, I think here I want to break up the center. Yeah, so that's lieutenant. I'll probably take it with my colonel because what are the chances the general's in the center? It's probably in the left because this guy's a balanced setup. I should move up on that. Yeah, I guess I didn't. Maybe I'm gonna bring a colonel at the left if there is the general in the center. See that piece? It's probably a colonel. Honestly, no. So I don't lotto. I probably should have lottoed there because that's pretty obviously a colonel. Is it a colonel? Okay, yeah, it's a colonel. So yeah, I probably should have lottoed there. That was my mistake. But then again, it could have been a bluff. You just never know with these people. So we're down a major, up a captain, down a sergeant, up a minor, down a scout. I mean, yeah, yeah, down a scout. But we do know the colonel and a marshal. Sorry, the marshal and a colonel. And this guy knows absolutely nothing about my setup. Well, other than that mage I'm about to take the lieutenant with. But yeah, like doesn't know my colonels, doesn't know my marshal or my general. And that's very good for me. Scouts by colonel, so that's not great. But I mean, whatever, right? It's another scout off the board. So I know that that's the gen. Sorry, that's a colonel in the center. My bad. So this guy should try to exchange colonels, and actually he can exchange colonels. I don't know why. I don't know why I moved it up there. So that's very odd because that guy got a major for his colonel, and I got a scout for mine. So that guy should have traded because that was like a positive trade for him, I guess. But maybe since I moved up on that, he thought that trading was good for me, and he didn't want to trade. I really don't think that that's the general, like in the center, like to the right of the pond or the lake. It could be, but I really don't think it is. Yeah, that's definitely not the general. But I'm gonna move down just because of precautions. So yeah, since it got me in two square, I really don't think it is. So I'm just gonna hold there. Bluffing the spy is a good piece, like as the marshal basically. Again, I don't think that's the general because this guy's head is not that aggressive with his high pieces. If it is, then that just kind of sucks. But then I have full info. Yeah, so that wasn't the general. I didn't think it was. I mean, it still could be, and he might just want me to hit it for him, so then he doesn't have to worry about a marshal. Yeah, definitely not the general. Yeah, it was a sergeant. Probably tried to find out what that spy is. I'm not gonna give this guy the chance though, because I want to bluff that spy as my marshal. Okay, that was my other mistake. You never want to move your back row pieces if you can avoid it, and that move was avoidable. So scouting my lieutenant, that's a fair piece to scout, I guess, because I think it came from behind the lake. So yeah, that guy, and it was also going after the suspected general. So that makes sense. That's a pretty good move to do with the scout. Of course, this guy's not really gonna get much. So I wait a long time and move it over to make sure that he scouts it because I don't want this guy like scouting something like my major. So yeah, that's why I do it. I do that. So yep, indeed he scouts it. Scouting a lieutenant is slightly worse of a play for the person who's scouting it. And I move up to see what that thing is. Not taking me, that makes me think it's either the gen or it's a bluff. And it's the gen. So that's very good info. For the lieutenant, I'm perfectly happy to get that info. So now we know the general. Yeah, and I can get that lieutenant right back. So that was even better. So we know the general in the center. The marshal is on the right near that captain. And yeah, that also moved. Yeah, so I know a lot of pieces. That guy should not have moved that because that just gives me a free piece. And apparently that also moved. No, it didn't. Never mind. I keep a Stratego board next to me to keep track of which pieces moved, which is why I was able to do that. That's probably a colonel. Oh, it's a spy. That's interesting. So that means the other piece is most likely a major or a captain, because he chose to save the spy over that piece. So I guess the piece to the right of the colonel did move. Yes, it did. So it's a minor. So that's nice. Yeah, so I don't lotto. That was it was just a moving piece, and I use a statistical board to keep track of moving pieces. See, at this point, I have a pretty commanding lead in terms of info. I'm not a major, but I am up two captains, and that way, two captains beats a major in the end game. So I'm perfectly happy with where I stand right now. Also, I got my spy bluffing as my marshal, which is even better. So as you can see, right now my opponent is relatively board readable because of all those pieces he moved in the back row and the third row. So the flag is either in one of those two squares in the center, which I don't think it is, or it's bombed in on the right. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking right now because of how many pieces moved, and also the marshal and general came from over there, so it's makes complete sense. So I'm kind of trying to bait his general over to the left. It's not buying it though. Oh, maybe he is buying it. No. So I gotta make sure my colonel doesn't get trapped by the marshal or the general, but my opponent does not know my general or my marshal or my spy yet. So it's perfectly safe right now. So I think I'm gonna start moving my marshal out because he doesn't have a spy. And also it came from the third row, so wouldn't have any reason to suspect it as being a good piece. Going after my colonel, that's just not gonna. That's a complete waste of time. And going off of that, it just makes the general in a very bad position on the board. So now I bring my general up the right because I know the marshal has to keep on my marshal, so I can bring the general up the right safely and get like everything else. Also keep in mind, my opponent does not know which one's my marshal and which one's my general. Probably suspects the marshal as the general because my spy was acting like my marshal. So he probably thinks the general's a bluff. He's thinking about this one. So, yep. So he's changed marshals. That's totally fine with me. Even though he doesn't have a spy and I do have a spy, it doesn't really matter that much because yeah, that's keep chasing my colonel. That's not gonna do anything for this guy. I just hope he doesn't lot on my major because if I get down another major, then this could be a problem in the end game. Okay, good. So this guy does. So it looks like he's not wallowing anything that doesn't move. Just chasing my colonel. It's never gonna work because I can just keep leading him over. Looks like he's going in for some sort of lotto. Okay, that was a decent scouting move, I guess. So apparently that moved again. I can't keep track of them while I'm voiceovering, but apparently when I'm recording I can. So it moves over on my captain. I know that I'm gonna lose that or the colonel. I guess that moved too. Oh yeah. That was a colonel. It was revealed, and then he tucked in there. So I hit with the captain, which is interesting. But I did that to get my colonel on the diagonal because if I didn't, then he just trapped my colonel, and I'd rather lose a captain than lose a colonel. So knowing that's probably a bomb there, lottos into that bomb, then he surrenders. That's gonna be game. So if you guys enjoyed this video, then make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next video.